What's up, people? Adam Hunter here, giving you a special podcast on Rockfin, ROKFIN. Today I'm talking to one of my favorite people, Heather Jo Clark, catching up with Heather, seeing how she's doing. She's a great girl. She's coming off a win in Invicta. When is she going to fight again? Who knows? I want to thank our sponsor, Sparks Cannabis. It's a vertically integrated, family-owned and operated cannabis company out of California's Central Valley. They want to remove the stigma and stereotypes that are associated with cannabis by showing how cannabis fits into the motto, everyone, every day. They have higher quality products, and they strive to provide curated experiences rather than a couch-locked high. Their Excite and Exhale product lines do that by focusing on the strains, terpenes, and how they interact to give you that curated experience. I'm all about it. I smoke this stuff. It's awesome. Highly recommend it. Okay, you got to try out their Sparks Lights. Their pre-rolls with premium 2-to-1 CBD THC flower. Same premium flower with less kick. All right? They love the planet. I love the planet, which is why they strive to be as eco-friendly as possible. And they're proud to be one of the first farms to have technologically advanced greenhouses that are completely solar powered, which helps them reduce their carbon footprint. They also use state-of-the-art LED lighting, the highest quality nutrients, and a reverse osmosis water system to remove contaminants from plants. Check them out at www.sparkscannabis.com. That's SPARXCANNABIS.com. Instagram at Sparks Cannabis. Also, Speedweed. Marijuana is legal in California, so get it delivered right to you. Go to speedweed.com. They got everything. They got great marijuana, they got CBD, they have THC sex lube, which I love using with my wife. Highly recommend that. Try them out, speedweed.com. Mention Roasted, you get $10 off, $100 or more. Speedweed.com, they're awesome. Me, I just got off a cruise ship. I was doing comedy. I got heckled by like 9 6-year-olds. It was like a gang of 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds who were super cute, these kids, but oh God, it was like babysitting. I told them the show is sponsored by Planned Parenthood. They wouldn't stop. But the shows I did were good. I got to do a cruise. I went to St. Thomas, then went from St. Thomas back to Miami, and then out to Grand Cayman, then Honduras. Then I flew to Houston, and now I'm in, where am I? I am in Naples, Florida at Off the Hook Comedy Club. I saw some of the fights this week. Some of the fights were great. A lot of great fights. Proud of Uriah Faber. Wow. I mean, how crazy was that? That dude is just, I'm 41, and that dude made me feel really, really old because I was like, man, how did he do that? That was awesome. There were a lot of really good fights last weekend. I was happy for a lot of my friends that got the wins. I like Jermaine Durandame. Happy she won, but the fight was stopped early. I don't know. I think Herb Dean, I think he has a soft spot for women. I hate to say it, but it seems to be he seems to end those fights a little quicker than other fights. Josh Emmett, Mirsad Bektik. That dude is so good. But these Sacramento people really step up. Some people don't fight as well when they're kind of on their home turf. They get nervous and they gotta get everyone tickets, and everyone's a pain in the ass. In fact, one of my friends went to go see me on the first time I did Leno, and I didn't even know who was there. And I was so appreciated because I had other friends that went to the green room and ate all the food and yada yada. So I give it says a lot when you don't ask for things. That's actually, like, whenever I go support someone or I know someone has a big deal or a big show, I don't want to be that guy to ask them for tickets. I know they just have enough, and I appreciate that when people don't ask me for stuff when I have big stuff. But yeah, there was some great fights, and I was proud. I was proud of Faber. I was proud of what else happened. Andre Fili. Wow, did he look amazing? This is a whole different Andre Fili. Juliana Pena. Good for her. Girl had a baby, lost the first round. But she's got character. She's got toughness. Ryan Hall. Darren Elkins. I love Darren Elkins. He just got hurt. I don't think he was expecting that kick. I wasn't. Everyone, you think of Uriah Hall, you don't think of kicks. Next thing I know, he hurts him. Darren Elkins. Man. How do you train for a guy like Uriah Hall? Who do you bring in to emulate what Uriah Hall's going to do? I don't know anybody. I mean, that dude is just he's a beast. But I was happy for Fili. I was happy for Faber. Happy for Jermaine because I think that she gets a bad rap because of the Holly Holm fight and because she didn't fight Cyborg. She is awesome. She is tough. She just, I don't know, maybe didn't hear the bell or really wanted to keep fighting. But Jermaine Durandame is an awesome fighter, and I was happy she's back on the winning track because I think she was getting a lot of hate from people, and I've spoken to her, and she's cool as shit. And she's a warrior. This chick was doing kickboxing back in the day when there was no money in kickboxing. There's still probably no money in kickboxing, but she just does it out of love. She's a cool chick, that girl. I'm a fan. And as much as I'm happy for Uriah Faber, I'm happy they didn't give him the title shot because beating Ricky Simone does not grant you a title shot. And I'm happy because that would have been ridiculous. If they just would have put him up against Cejudo, as much as I'd like to see it and it'd be fun, come on. In fact, it should be TJ Dillashaw versus Faber. That should be the fight. Teacher versus student, old man versus young man, cheater versus non-cheater. That's a fight I want to see. Who wouldn't see that? I'd go see it. This week, Rafael Dos Anjos is fighting Leon Edwards. Tough fight. I think Rafael, based on how he looked against Kevin Lee, I got to go for him. Walt Harris, my man, I think he's going to knock out Alexei Olnik. I do. He seems to be undefeated against white guys. Juan Adams versus Greg Hardy. This is the fight I'm looking forward to. Juan Adams hates Greg Hardy. Fucking hates him. And Greg Hardy is an easy guy to hate based on his past. Look, everyone deserves a second chance, maybe. I don't know. Do they deserve a second chance? I mean, do murderers deserve second chances? Not that Hardy's a murderer, but, I mean, he did beat up a woman, or allegedly, or some shit went down where he got kicked out of the NFL. I'm not a fan. But this Juan Adams guy, I am a fan of. He's pretty funny, too. Dan Hooker versus James Vick. That's a great fight. Dan Hooker is a guy that you have to murder to stop. And James Vick's the same way. I think Hooker's got the advantage in striking. No, Vick's got the advantage in striking. Hooker's got the advantage, I think, on the ground. But Vic's pretty good on the ground. And Vic's been practicing Kung Fu. Kung Fu! The legend continues. Can't wait for that fight. Arlovsky versus Rothwell. I don't know who wins that fight. Ben Rothwell, man, he got popped for, I think, PEDs. He should win this fight, but who knows? I mean, these guys, this is like a Bellator main event. Bruce Leroy, come on, man. He's the best 14-11 fighter in the UFC. Raquel Pennington, gotta root for Raquel. That's my girl. Against Aldana, I like Aldana, but Raquel's my girl. Smiling Sam is also my guy. I don't know who Kidston and Brew is, but come on, Smiling Sam. Last time it was Angry Sam. He got really pissed that fight was stopped. But you can't. I know that fight should not have been stopped, but you can't fight like that. Ray Borg, my man, fighting Gabriel Silva. Gotta go with Borg. That dude is going through a much bigger fight than what's on in the octagon with his son, and I like that guy a lot. There's a lot of good fights coming up. That's this Saturday. Anyway, we're talking to Heather Jo Clark. Let's talk to Heather. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Check it out. Beautiful, sweet Heather Jo Clark. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you, Adam?
Good. I saw that you, by the way, if you don't know, Heather is dating my old wrestling coach, one of my good friends, Connor. You guys live together, right?
Yep.
You guys want a vacation? I saw him post out, like, I never go on vacations. I'm like a miserable guy. Heather made me go on a vacation. What happened?
I didn't make him. I just told him that, it's all about balance. And he's a workaholic. He works a lot, and, I commend him for that. But at the same time, I think that you got to find balance. So I got him away, and we went to Tulum for like 4 days, and it was amazing.
What's Tulum?
Tulum is right under Cancun, so it's in Mexico. It's a beautiful little village. They have these like cenotes, which are these fresh water, like little cave, ponds kind of, I guess. We went scuba diving, which was his first time. It was amazing.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you teaching my man culture, which is great.
Yes.
Which is great. Now, by the way, I went back and what are you up to? Because I was looking at your last fight. I watched it again yesterday. It was a great fight, by the way. Very smart fight on your part. It was like the rounds were very close, and then you got takedowns, I think, in the first and the second with like 20 seconds to go. You shot a great double. I'm a great person I've ever seen shoot a double in my life. It was a great, beautiful double. I think it was the second. So
Thank you. Yeah, it was smart. I'd been off for a little bit, and I had to change camps, and I moved to a different state. My coach that I'd been working with, Mark Montoya, told me the week before the fight that he wasn't going to be able to corner me because he had a last minute fight. He had to go with Anthony Smith to Germany. He was fighting the next day after me. So, James Krause ended up cornering me with Connor, and so there was a lot of things. My coach had passed away the year before, and there was a lot of emotions going into that fight. So I gasped a little bit in the third. I think, I tried to stay centered and everything, but I definitely had some emotions that were subconscious, I think, in there that allowed me to gasp. And, again, I had to play it smart and get the win. And yeah, it was a good win for me.
Have you worked with James Krause before?
No. I'd met him, several times working for Guard Lab before, and then he came up and was working because he trained at Factory X as well, for some of his camps and stuff. So I'd met him there. He'd showed me something on the ground once, but I'd never hit pads with him or anything. So the first time I ever hit pads with him was just a few days before my fight.
So you had a guy coaching in your corner who had no idea how you fight.
Correct.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
But he did know Mark Montoya's style, and he had talked to him. Mark, filled him in on what the game plan was. James had also worked with Robert Follis, so he kind of knew what Robert's style was, and I was kind of working with both those styles for that fight. So it ended up working really well. James was a great corner. He was able to really, kind of stay calm and keep me in that headspace, because I feel like when I have a corner that's screaming at me, I don't do well. And so his style matched with my ability to stay calm and collected, so he it worked out. And then I had Connor there too, so that was helpful.
Now, a lot of your fights that were decisions, they didn't go your way, but they could have went your way. Your Felice fight, a couple other fights. Were you worried going into when they were announcing the judges, oh no, they might not give it to me?
You never know, obviously, but I definitely felt like I did enough to win. So at that moment, I was thinking that I won, but if I had lost, I think I would have been, a little bit bummed, but would have been proud with my performance anyway. And the thing that, that I was able to come back and do that. It was also the first fight my dad wasn't there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my dad had been in my corner for every fight, obviously not the one in the Ultimate Fighter, but every other fight. And so he basically was protesting against me fighting still because I have this plate in my eye, my orbital, that one of the doctors I saw told me that it could possibly blind me if I broke one of the bones in my face. So he was against me fighting and wasn't going to be there. So, there's a lot of things, but yeah, I feel like I was able to pull through, and I was on the momentum, after that fight to fight Mizuki in the co-main event in November of last year, and then I was kind of getting ready for that fight. I was drilling, flow sparring with one of the guys at Factory X, an amateur 55-pound guy, and motherfucker lit me up for no damn reason. I was super pissed. He didn't drop me, didn't stumble me or anything, but definitely was going a little bit hard. And I was really upset about it because there was no fucking reason to do it. And then we fast forward to a little over 10 months from that happening, and I've been dealing with a major brain injury from it.
Brain injury?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you guys are sparring, flow sparring, which means
not even sparring. It was tech sparring, basically.
So 30%, 20% kind of.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yeah.
And the guy just started pounding on you.
Yeah, he just lit me up. He just threw several combinations that were very fast and hard, and I think it was a combination of the speed of snapping my head back. I don't know, I tried so many times since then to like figure out if it was one certain punch or whatever, but it was so hard to tell. I've talked to several people who have gone to several doctors, neurologists. The UFC actually flew me out to Vegas. I saw the Cleveland Clinic. They're doing a fighter study there, and I'd previously done a couple MRIs there, just for the study. So they had something to look, years back and see like if anything had changed in my brain, and nothing had changed. So there was a lot that they could tell me, which is pretty amazing that they have over 700 fighters in that study and really don't have that much information from that, which is insane. But yeah, I think it might have been accumulation of punches. A couple weeks before that I was sparring.
Was it big gloves or small gloves?
We were in big gloves.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did the coach say anything? Did you tell him what are you doing?
Yeah. It was the last round, so it was like 2 minute. We were doing these 2-minute tech sparring rounds, or Mark called float, and he was actually about 10 feet away from me when it happened. He said he saw the end of it, and he said, I was like, what the fuck, I was pissed, and then I walked over to Mark, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck that was about, but that's not okay. Like, that's not cool that he did that. And then Mark's like, oh, well, let me go talk to him. So Mark goes to talk to him. Next thing I know, I'm on the bench, getting my gear off, and he comes over to me, and he's like, hey, taps me on the back with one arm and says, good sparring. And I think he was supposed to be saying sorry. I didn't mean to go that hard, but the little ass still hasn't to this day said a word to me. I've been in the gym a couple times, shooting pictures, and one time I brought a friend over there, and I've seen him, and he just doesn't say a word to me, and he knows damn right that he was the one that caused this. So again, I can't necessarily blame it just on him. I mean, I gotta say, it's been a long journey and many punches to the head, and some doctors think that it's the accumulation. I did get rocked a little bit a couple weeks before that from a girl I was sparring with on one of Pat Barry's classes, and she just did this overhand bomb and rocked me, and so again, I don't know if it was accumulation of that or it's so hard to tell, but man, Adam, it's been debilitating. I've had a headache literally every single day for almost 11 months now. I sought out specialists, headache specialists. I've done, concussion training, rehabilitation stuff at CU, which is the Colorado State, University, and I mean, I've literally done everything. I've been on all types of medications to prevent the headaches, and all of those didn't work. So eventually they actually allowed me to do, the insurance paid for a Botox therapy, which is, they do I think it was 23 injections all over your head and your neck, and it's supposed to prevent headaches. So when I did that, I actually got a little bit of relief. My headaches weren't as bad as they were before that, and so I was able to get back in the gym and start lifting weights a little bit. Now we're 6 weeks into that treatment, 7 weeks into that treatment, and the migraines are coming back. The headaches are getting worse. So I go back for my next injection in August, and I'm literally counting the days because.
Does the marijuana help or no?
It doesn't. It basically. Well, it doesn't help with the headaches. What it does help is with my anxiousness, my kind of what's the word? Just kind of irritability, that I've had, and I think a lot of fighters have that irritability. It's definitely a symptom from brain trauma, which I think every fighter has, and that irritability does get help by smoking weed, and I think a lot of fighters smoke weed or eat weed or whatever for that, and so again, that helps, but it doesn't help with the headaches. So yeah.
Now when you went home and told Connor about what happened, did he go to the gym and try to fight the guy? Or?
So the plan was that was I think a Tuesday. It was actually 9/11 of all days, super easy to remember, obviously. But I think it was like a Tuesday. And so Friday is sparring at Factory X, and Connor's plan was to go down there and beat the shit out of him. And Mark was like, okay, yeah, like that's how we work these things out. Let him beat his ass, and then he'll learn his lesson. So Mark was all good about it. But then Friday came. I thought that I was just, dealing with a small concussion. I was like, oh, well, we'll just go next Friday. I'll be better. I'll be training again, and we'll go together. It's stupid for you to go if I'm not going, that kind of thing. So Friday came. We didn't go. The next Friday came. We didn't go. And then actually Connor tore his AC separation in his shoulder, skateboarding with his dog. So it was no longer an option to beat his ass. But
my God.
Yeah, maybe in the future.
Nah, you're better off letting it go, I guess.
He keeps saying, he's like, let him do his pro debut against me, Heather. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if anybody will sanction that.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I did gotta say during your fight though, you went for the head and arm again. What's going on with his head and arm?
Head and arm from the standing?
Yeah, I said no more head and arm. Yeah, that's okay. It's all good.
I don't remember that. I think it's just a bad habit, obviously. But and
by the way, I think you're undefeated against girls with chest tattoos. Because this girl has a chest tattoo. Rowdy Beck had a chest tattoo.
Oh goodness.
You should only fight girls with chest tattoos.
Okay, I'll let them know, that they got to have that. No. So, in terms of am I done, am I not, I don't know. Every day I hope that I'm going to wake up better. And so far it hasn't happened. Connor's really pushing me to I think if you just say you're retired, then you'll start to get better. You'll come to terms with it. This is an emotional thing. And I'm like, how about not?
Yeah.
So, I'm just taking it day to day. One of my pet peeves is people that say they're retired just to get the attention, the woe is me type shit, and then they come back a year later. It's different if it's like Uriah Faber and he comes back 3 years later because they're fighting in his hometown, and okay, and then he goes and knocks someone out. Well, maybe he thinks about doing another fight. So there are exceptions or whatever, but I'm just trying to get better, and that's my focus. It's not necessarily anywhere else. So, yeah.
Are you sparring at all?
No, man, I haven't been able to train at all. Haven't been back.
No jiu-jitsu either?
Obviously, Connor and I opened 10th Planet Denver back in November, which was a blessing, I guess, that we created something out of, this horrible thing that happened to me. Because I would have been fighting in November, there was no way we would have been able to have opened the gym. It was something we both wanted to do for a long time, and so we were able to open it, and we have over 80 members now.
Wow!
In less than a year. So that's something that's been taking up my time is coaching. It's a new thing to be called coach, and I really like it, and I really enjoy coaching next to him, and it's been definitely hard on our relationship, but it's something that's making our relationship stronger because we get through these things.
Why is it hard?
Yeah, because he's got his way and I got my way. We both have been, he's got his way that he's been taught this wrestling thing. For instance, okay, Connor started wrestling at 4 years old. I started wrestling at 28. So I understand when we get adults that have no idea, have never done wrestling, never done jiu-jitsu, and they're they don't. I remember what that was like, because I was an adult. Whereas Connor's he walked into jiu-jitsu with a full wrestling background, wrestling in college, wrestling in high school. His dad was his wrestling coach. He had this amazing, skill. So when he started jiu-jitsu, he wasn't getting tapped left and right. He was basically a blue belt, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't understand what it is to be a white belt. And so oftentimes I have to kind of take him back a little bit. He gets ahead of himself. He's a phenomenal coach, but he just gets so excited and gets ahead of himself. And I'm like, okay, we need to take that back 12 steps. And
that was the problem I had a little with 10th Planet in general, was I was learning these crazy, fancy electric chair sweeps, but I'm like, all right, how do I do a triangle? I hope I do just a guillotine. Like, this is great, but I'm learning this great 10-step move, but I just want to know a very basic move, and then we'll go from there. I think wrestling, it's like you can't just jump into a wrestling class. Like, you can't just jump into, like, a high school wrestling class in like, the middle of the season and expect to catch on. Like, a guy will take you to the corner and show you some very, stance and doubles and singles, and eventually you'll be able to join. Whereas jiu-jitsu, like, it's just like one continuous class. So people just join at level 9 and eventually try to go back. But I think that there has to be a better way.
Well, we are going to be starting a fundamental class soon. So I think that's going to help a lot too. So people that are brand new can come to that and at least get a base before they get into the other class, which is, again, is all levels. But, for instance, he'll be showing a wrestling move, and he's like, okay, this is going to be a Russian 2-on-1 to this. And it's like, he'll show that, and that's enough for one class, is just getting the Russian. And then he's like, we're going to do the Russian, we're going to do snatch to the single, you're going to do the dump, then we're going to do the fireman's, and we're going to, it's like, holy shit, slow down, but it's the same thing. I'm like, no. You don't get it. It's like, and then the next day we're supposed to be reviewing that last move, and he's like, but he changes it ever so slightly, and he's like, but it's the same thing. And I'm like, to you, it's the same thing, but to everybody else, it's not. Look around, people are, so it's really good, actually. I think we complement each other real well. I think people, they get a kick out of it, for sure, and they see that, we both have a lot of skills, but that I kind of can be a little bit more relatable to them because I've been there. And again, I did start as an adult. So we complement each other in that sense. But it's been hard because I think Connor, thinks that, like, I'm questioning his skill or his abilities when it's not that. It's just we need to break it down a little bit more, and so it's been fun. We have some amazing students. We actually won Naga this year.
Wow.
As a team. Yeah, we won Naga. It was hilarious. We get this box in the gym, and he's like, what is this? We didn't order anything. Maybe somebody won a belt and they had to send it to him. So he opens the box. It's this big trophy, and he's like, I have never seen Connor so happy in the almost 2 years we've been together. He picks up this trophy and he's like, yes! Oh my God! And he's screaming, and everyone's looking at him and just with their mouth dropped, like, holy shit! Like, I got some of it on camera. I posted it. If you're interested in seeing it, go to our Instagram page. I posted his reaction. It was hilarious. But we just won another tournament this weekend called Colorado Jiu-Jitsu Club. And as a team, we brought 22 competitors, and we won that as well. So it's amazing.
That's great. No, I remember coaching with him. He had a torn ACL, and he would sit on the sidelines, and I would coach, and I'd look over, he'd be like, wrong. I'm like, thanks, buddy. Like, I'm teaching like a 10-year-old with all their faith in me, and he's just yelling, wrong.
I'm gonna try that today. No, I'm just kidding.
And then at the time he may have been like doing some other stuff that was not legal, and he like accused one kid of like, I think this kid's smoking weed. I'm like, you probably sold it to him, like directly. So Connor. So
you know my pain. No, I'm just kidding. He's
but he's got a huge heart though, huge heart.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's what more than anything, the reason why our students are doing so well. Is because of his heart, because he cares, because, his consistency, and we do a quote of the day. We show, a lot of compassion for our students, and that I think, we show up at the tournaments to coach them and everything. And this is what, the community, it's like that believe to believe is, if we believe in them, it really helps them to believe in themselves, and they grow and they get better. And that's something that I learned from my coach, Robert Follis. I've never had a coach care for me so much that it gave me tremendous confidence in myself and allowed me to shine brighter than I'd ever had. So that's something that we really, take pride in, and being a community, that we don't allow any bullying. We don't allow any egos on the mat. And that's something that our students really care about as well. And so it's great. There's no cliques. There's no drama. And then on top of it, we've actually been gifted the opportunity to also coach the MMA team at Genesis, which, Nate Marquardt's in there. He's not fighting anymore, but he's in the class. We got a couple Bellator guys. Rose, I think, Rose Namajunas is going to be joining shortly, and JJ Aldridge and
wow,
and stuff like that. So it's really cool because, I would have been really upset if I wouldn't have been able to continue to use the knowledge that I have. I feel like I have a lot of knowledge from training at two of the best camps in the world, Jackson Winks and Extreme Couture, and just passing that on to these fighters. And at first, they kind of looked at me. They were like, "Who the hell is this girl? Think she is?" Yeah, she's fought in the UFC a couple times, but. And it's changed over the last few months. They really respect me, and they listen, and then they pull off the move that I showed them, and they're like, "Oh my God, okay, this girl knows, she knows what she's talking about." So yeah, there's the transition into coaching it was crazy that it kind of happened at the exact moment that I needed it, because. Adam, if I didn't, and I obviously can't work right now, I don't know if I'm going to wake up with a migraine or not. And, so having this opportunity to be of service and to be of help with my knowledge is such a blessing.
That sounds good. Now, I read that 95% of gyms fail as far as not being able to make money. And how are you guys able to not fail?
Well, we have been profitable since the first month, and that was because we played our cards right. We rented a space in another gym. We're on our third space right now because we've pretty much outgrown the other spaces, and so we keep our expenses low. We have, and then we actually, believe it or not, with 80 plus members. We haven't done any marketing outside of just posting on Facebook, Instagram, things like that. And, it's hilarious. When we ask people how they heard about us, can you guess what they say?
Their friends.
Joe Rogan.
Really?
Yes, because 10th Planet, with everyone listens to fucking Joe Rogan. If you're into MMA or martial arts, it's like you listen to Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan always has Eddie on the show. He talks about 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, and there's only 3 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu schools in Colorado. One's in Colorado Springs, which is about an hour and a half from us. One is in Boulder, and then us. And Connor's the only black belt because the other 2 schools are brown belts. And Connor's not only a black belt, but a black belt under Eddie. So people gravitate towards us. But literally, we're like, how'd you hear about us? Joe Rogan. We're like, oh, my God.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible.
Now, I know that you came from, like Extreme Couture and some places you came from, they were kind of like, they weren't really buying, or even Drysdale, not really buying into the Eddie Bravo system at first. They were kind of like, just sort of like, who's this guy, yada, yada, Spider Guard and Rubber Guard doesn't really work. Has it been hard for you to kind of buy into the 10th Planet system from where you come from?
No, because I've actually been training 10th Planet on and off for many years. Being from LA, I would go and train with Eddie at HQ. Anytime that I would come home from Albuquerque or from Extreme Couture and go to LA, I'd always train with Eddie. And so I really liked the system. I never learned Rubber Guard because, I've always been taught in MMA, you don't play on the bottom. And so I didn't really, and still to this day, I don't tell guys to use Rubber Guard in MMA unless they're masters, unless they're, Tony Ferguson's or Connor, Connor Hune. But like, let's use our skills to get on top and play the 10 planet system on top. I still am not a big believer in that for MMA. I think there's time, Coach Follis used to say, you can never say never. There's always going to be a time. Now, if, like that fight that I fought with Alexa Grasso, and I couldn't see out of one eye. Would it have been a bad idea to maybe pull guard and work some attacks from the bottom, which I have. I have good arm bars. I have good arm drags with the back and things like that. Would that have been a good plan at that moment? Yeah, absolutely. Because I wasn't doing great in the striking. I was scared as fuck to get knocked out at that moment because I couldn't see. So there's always moments that, these things and having these skills are going to be beneficial to you. And I think in the straight jiu-jitsu game, it's phenomenal. I mean, that rubber guard game and stuff is awesome.
Right. No, it's true. You see some guys pull it off. Some guys pull it off, but then I think other times you see a lot more guys try to pull it off and then get smashed.
Yeah.
Than guys that actually pull it off. Maybe because they like stress it more.
Yeah. Well, it's like, if you're a master at it, then by all means use it. But if you're not, then you're putting yourself in a really bad position. And then the way that the judges score these fights, regardless if you're attacking and not even getting hit, but you're on the bottom and you don't finish, then you've lost the round.
Have you thought about entering any kind of tournaments?
That's definitely in the future. I would love to do EBI. I would love to do even combat jiu-jitsu. I don't think people would be able to hit me with my knowledge of ground and pound and being able to stay safe. So it's something that I definitely want to do in the future. And, would I love to do some of these like fight to win professional matches and stuff where you get paid a little bit of money and stuff? Yeah. That's definitely happening. When? Who knows? Because I got to get better first.
Do you miss being the ripped Heather? Because I remember like when you start trading, you get like jacked. I mean, you
yes.
like you
yes.
get like hand jobs galore, where you just like
Christ.
What
does that even mean?
I'm just saying, it looks like you can give a handy in like 2-stroke squirt.
Okay. Because that makes no sense, Adam. But yeah, I definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely feel soft, and thank God I've been able to lift a little bit over the last month. But I won't even wear shorts right now. Like,
come on, why not?
Because I don't like the softness. I don't feel comfortable in my own skin at the moment. I swear, I know it's a body dysmorphia. It's I'm not.
Women would love to have your body.
Well, I appreciate that, but we're all it's like I'm used to being fit like my whole life. I've been an athlete my whole life and active, and so I have this idea of what to me I feel comfortable with. And I'm not bulimic, I'm not anorexic. I still eat. I still eat stuff probably I shouldn't because I'm trying to lose weight, but at the same time too, it's like I feel like I'm skinny fat. So if I were to do a bunch of cardio and get rid of all that cellulite on my legs, then I would look like a pencil, and then Yeah,
but guys like a girl with a little junk in the trunk. I mean,
and that's why I haven't been doing a ton of cardio. On top of the fact that I can't get my heart rate above 150 without like literally feeling like I'm gonna pass out. I know it's fucking crazy. Like I'll be doing single leg squats or whatever, and I have to like sit down before I can do like the other leg. It's insane. So I'm just, it's hard. Connor's been, he's been amazing. He's always, trying to.
But he likes a big ass. I know Connor.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, and that's why I don't want to do a bunch of cardio and lose my ass. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just doing the heavy lifting and trying to build before I can cut. So,
What's up with his beard now, though? Does he still have that beard?
He has a beard. It's not super long. It's like a short beard.
Yeah, tell him to not do that. It looks like he did that face app, but like in like real life.
He did that yesterday. I'll have him send it to you. It's so funny. He's like, did you do it, Heather? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm not doing it. I was like, that can tell me what I'm gonna look like, but fuck that shit. I'm gonna look better than that. So I don't even want to
tell you when I got so mad at him because he came to my show and heckled me.
Yeah.
I brought him there. And then he punched my friend in the car ride home. He got so drunk. He started punching my friend, like, yeah, this is funny. And my friend's like, is like this nerdy guy that like school teacher that's like getting punched by a professional fighter. He's like,
oh my God. Well, he hasn't drank since December.
Oh, wow.
He gave up alcohol for this year, and we'll see what happens next year. But that was something he decided. Obviously, I'm allergic to alcohol. I don't drink either. He's also went vegan. So big changes for Connor. He's a new man. He when we met, he had like all his vitamins and minerals and all that shit tested, and stuff was low, and then he went vegan, and everything's like normal now. So it's pretty crazy.
I had so much fun coaching with him. One time we had a match where it was like our third match, and some random black kid shows up, and he's like, "I'm here for the match," and I was like, "Connor, have you ever seen this kid before?" He's like, "Never." And then someone's like, "I don't think he goes to our school."
Oh my gosh!
And then Connor wanted to throw him in. I'm like, we can't let him wrestle. And then the kid literally just showed up.
That's hilarious.
Connor's like, I like your style.
That's not far from how he is now. We get guys with like 1 week, 2 weeks, and he's like, you're competing this weekend?
Yeah, we had so much fun. I mean, I honestly it was me, him, and Dan Hardy.
I love Dan Hardy.
And like Toby Greer. I don't know Toby.
Oh God, Toby.
He was, and then Einstein, Scott Epstein. That was our wrestling class.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Connor was like, he was legit one of the funniest people I ever met in my life. He was a good dude. Like one time there was like one of my exes wanted to hook up with him, and I was like, "Yeah, I think my ex likes you," and he's like, "I would never hook up with your ex," and I was like, "That's awesome." Like most guys would have banged her.
Yeah, he's like, "At least I will, but I won't tell you about it."
No, he wouldn't. Connor's like he's one of those dudes that like he's the kind of guy that also if I ever had like a dead body, he'd be on my top 5.
Oh God. Don't do it, Adam. Don't do it.
No, I'm not going to kill somebody. I'm just saying I would call him. I would. And then one time we had this roast. We roasted like Octomom, a bunch of like the mistresses of like Tiger Woods. And it was Tila Tequila. Just like the worst people you could met. And then Connor came with his girlfriend at the time, who then got mad at him because these are the kind of girls he would go for. Like,
right.
She was yelling at him for that. Like he didn't even do anything.
Oh man, that's funny.
Good times. So cool. Well, Heather. So I don't know what to expect. You sound like you're in a good place. Like you're happy.
Well, yes and no. I'm not happy not being able to do what I love ultimately the most, and that's fighting, and training for fighting. I enjoy both. I really enjoy the whole training for a fight and getting in there and testing my abilities, mind, body, and spirit. And not having that has been really hard. But like I said, I am blessed to have this amazing gym and this community of people behind me that look up to me, and so that has really been like tremendous. But yeah, I want to get better. So if anyone's listening and has any feedback on what I should do to help these headaches, everyday headaches and stuff, I'm all ears. We got on top of this, something I wanted to mention was a good friend of mine, Rudy Morales, the guy who started the Believe to Believe movement. He's suffering from a lung disease right now that he doesn't even know how he got it. And, he actually thinks he might be dealing with the concussion symptoms similar to me as well, on top of this lung disease. But we recently put up a GoFundMe. Adam will post it. I know that he's already donated, so I appreciate that, Adam. And if you can help Rudy out at all, he's trying to get this treatment in Arizona that is not something that the insurance will pay for. So with this treatment, I think it's like a stem cell treatment or something. There's been a 95% rate that he can recover from this and whatnot. So, Rudy's a really inspirational guy, goes out of his way to help people constantly.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, tremendous fighter, fought for Bellator, fought for World Series of Fighting or Pro Fighters League, I guess it is now.
Combate too.
Combate, correct. And, he also started his own promotion, Real Water MMA. This is a guy that basically was brought over here from Guatemala and has fought his whole life to get to where he is. Nothing was given to him, but he, really has put in the work and made the impossible possible for himself. So if you can spare $5, everything helps. Even just sharing the GoFundMe is helping. So, everybody, please think about doing that, because that would be very really great to do.
Got it. Well, thank you, Heather. Always good talking to you. When are you back in LA? Anytime soon?
I don't know. There's something out there that I wanted to come out for. I can't remember. But, yeah, hopefully we'll be out there soon. I think there's a 10th Planet big seminar thing going on we might be coming out for. I'm not sure when that is. But definitely let you know. You're always welcome up here. We'd love to have you and, get you doing some comedy for our gym. I guarantee we could get a private show and people would pay for that. So if that's
I'm in. That'd be great. Yeah. I'm totally in.
Yeah, that'd be great. Cool.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Heather. Tell Connor about give him my best, and
I will.
And have some kids.
No kids. We'll take yours off your hands and babysit, and then we'll remember why we don't want to have kids.
Absolutely.
No, not that she's a doll. She's a doll. She's one of the most beautiful babies I've ever seen. By the way, she's so cute.
I know.
Super cute.
She's the best.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Awesome.
Well,
all right,
thank you,
thanks,
Heather.
Adam. I appreciate your time and hopefully see you soon.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right, that was Heather Jo Clark. So I hope we learned a lot. Love Heather. Great personality. Great fighter. Tough breaks. But there's a girl that she should be coaching. She's a great coach. Girl thinks too much. If you know Heather, she is a warrior. She thinks too much. She's in her head. She's a beautiful person. There's a good girl that should be coaching. And I'm happy that she's with Connor. Connor's one of my good old friends. I should have invited him to my wedding. That's something Connor, if you're listening to this, sorry if you didn't get the invite. I love you, man. And Heather, too. Both of them. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, thank you for listening to the podcast. It's on Rockfin, ROKFIN. If you enjoy it, make sure you endorse me. Tell everyone to endorse me. I'll keep putting stuff up. You keep listening. I'll keep putting stuff up. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye-bye.